I'm going to make this video for anybody who's as confused as I was in life. I have a 98 1123 with the 6.5 liter Detroit diesel. Went with the bigger injectors for a turbo version, and to turn up the fuel flow in the injector pump, climbing on the truck here, we have this is the top of the injector pump. So inside here, I got the wrench on the thing. In righty, turning right opens it up, turning it to the left closes it. So I've opened it up 1/8 of a turn. Probably should actually back it off just a hair, just a little bit. So just so everybody knows, take the wrench out of there. It is a 5/32 Allen wrench. If you look down in there, you can see that Allen screw, which rotates with the engine. And to rotate the engine, the easiest way that I found, and I got this from another guy, which I thought was really awesome, was I take my all handy dandy ratchet here with a 1 1/16 socket, put it right here on the alternator. I'm sorry, I'm doing this back asswards because of my hand. Put it right here on the alternator, and I can rotate the engine. And if you look, you can see inside the pump that the pump rotates as well. And you just rotate that until that hole lines up with this little guy right here. And you can just open up your fuel flow a little bit, right to open it, left to close it down, or to, yeah, right to open, or give you more fuel, left to less fuel. So I took the guts out. I'm going to show you how to put them back in. These are the guts off the top of it. And the one thing I learned the hard way, the first time I did this, was this son of a bitch right here. That son of a bitch right there fell down into there. Now I got lucky and I was able to use an air chuck to blast it back out. And I had a towel up here to catch it when it came out. Blasted it with some air pressure and it popped back out. Now I got lucky. I have no idea where it could have gone from there, but when you take that out, you take this thing out of here, make sure you, trying to get you guys a good angle here, make sure when you take this out, you tip it up and get that spring to fall out. It goes right in that end. If it falls out over here, it's a lot easier to get out than if it falls out in there. So when I put this back in, I'm going to put this back in and then use my pliers, my nose pliers, to kind of guide the spring in from this side so I don't risk dropping it down in there again. So I'm going to cut from here. I suppose I could try to actually do all this on camera. I'll try to put it all on camera. If it's not, then it's not. But yeah, try to get this thing reassembled. My apologies for the angle. So with my throttle lock set, I'm going to finagle this little bastard right here back into here. And keep in mind, you got to get the spring lined up and the notch and everything. It's not super difficult. Anybody who's ever played with an erector set could probably handle this. This is the second time I've done this. I opened it up a little too far the first time and I had to go back in and get it turned back down, which was not really what I would call fun, but I'll put this back together for you guys. Goes in there just like so. Now remember that little spring bastard I was talking about? This little fucker? This is the one I was talking about. And I use my pliers, so try to do this in such a way where it's not blocking the view. Guide him into that little hole right there. Now if you lose that spring, life is really going to be a pain in the ass. Now this little guy here, this is I have no idea what the hell this is, I didn't mess with it, but a 1/2-inch wrench unthreads it. This is another fun one. I use the pliers on this as well. Because this little fucker here, pardon the language again, I mean, normally I don't videotape my work because who the hell really wants to see me work? Alright, goes in that hole right there. Make sure you get it to go under that little pin. I think it's a spring, but guide it in. just gonna get it started, which is apparently harder than it looks. So once you get it started, and you can see what I'm doing. Putting this guy right here. I'll try to get you a better angle. See, this guy right here, threading him in. Sorry, my big ugly hand is in the way. But if you're like me and you just got a million questions, this is the best way I could think to. So I got that mostly snug. Put the camera back where it was. And grab my all too fantastical. By the way, shout out to Samsung Flip for this ability to just prop this phone in places. There we go. Hopefully it stays. So, 1/2-inch wrench. I'm just going to snug this guy up. This is kind of a pain in the arse, but because it doesn't actually fit any one way, you kind of got to get half bites until you can get to the point where you can get a full bite on it. And of course, I'm bent over an engine in a weird ass position, so I am shaking like a freaking palm tree in a hurricane. So pardon my, get on there, you fucktard. All right. Yes, I know at this point I am the fucktard, but I called a wrench that so that at least both of us are screwed. So, got that on there, just snugging it. So, that's that. This is the cover. Doesn't look like nothing really to it. Set it back in there. It's got a little fucking, kind of has a little bit of a rock to it. That's the advanced solenoid, I believe. Set that up. And mine were stripped out because I'm going to say Marine Corps, hoorah. But these are T25 safety bit, or tamper-proof Torx, excuse me, safety bit. What the hell's the matter with me? So, that's just, there's just the 3 of those. Mine were stripped out, so I have little nice things about Torx bits is when they're stripped. You go slightly upsized on your torque tip, kind of tap it in with a hammer, you can get a bite. For the most part, you can get these guys out. Like, if this one and this one get stuck, actually I'll loosen that below. You can get them with a pair of vice grips, but this one here in the corner's got too much aluminum around it to want to play nice that way. And I know this is an extensive, ridiculously long video, but when it comes down to it, I can tell you, or I can just show you. And I've been told that I have a horrible way of describing things, so visual, there you go. Pardon my chicken out there, just being a loud little pain. Hey, why not drop things down the engine? That's always a great way to start your day. Always good to have a pair of pliers in your back pocket. And don't worry if you drop things down in the engine. Before you do this, definitely go to the parts store and get yourself a magnet. Yeah, one of those magnets on a stick. I don't really know what the technical term is for them. Stick magnet. We're going to go with that. Go get yourself a stick magnet. Because if you do, drop that pin right there down under your injection pump. It's not the end of the world. Just get yourself one of those sticks with a magnet on it, and you'll get it right out. Might have to fish around a little bit, but you'll find it. Oh, I got the light out of the way a little bit here. So now I'm just snugging this back up. Not too tight because it does have a big rubber O-ring gasket on the bottom, so it does seal just fine. Now this particular truck, I have done way more work to it than I wanted to. I thought I bought a good running vehicle. When I got it halfway home, started getting knocks and bangs and all other kinds of noise, all due to the fuel system, bad injectors, and incorrect glow plugs. It's been chase because I bought it from a second party, not the government website, but I've heard horror stories on both ends. If you want a Humvee, you better know how to work on them, because this thing will run no matter what, but you got to know how to fucking fix it. And this is one of the better vehicles I've ever had for going through the snow. Ah, shit. Living in Wisconsin, on the roads I live on, let me get my phone back in here. They don't necessarily plow the roads out here. All right, so cold start, timing advance, shut-off solenoid, fuel shut-off solenoid wire. So you pull those two leads, pull the cover off. You don't have to disconnect the hoses, but I would suggest when you do pop this off, swing it around and set it over in this area. The gas in it will drip down into the valley, the intake valley on the engine, but there is a drain point, so don't worry about that. If you flip it over the front on here, you're going to get diesel on your belt, and cranking that isn't going to do you any good, because once that diesel gets over to this pulley, you're basically SOL. So anyway, that's the end of this video for how to increase the fuel flow in your, this is a 5 for the 5.2s. It's just that same injector pump, so that's how you adjust the fuel flow in your ejection pump for a Detroit diesel on a military AM General Humvee. All right.